So कल हमने DDIC के बारे में देखा था. Anybody can tell me about what is the DDIC in SAP ABAP? Why we use the DDIC concepts? What is the objects we are having in the DDIC and the T code? What is the T code for DDIC?
SE11.
SE11.
Okay. SE11. SE11 is the transaction code to access the objects from the DDIC. So anybody can tell me about the domain and the data element? What is the domain and data element in SE11?
Domain tells about the technical characteristics like data type, length, and then data element tells about how the column or row could be visible to the end user.
Okay. So it shows about the field description, right?
Yes.
So how our column will be displayed to the end user and how our column will be displayed to the functional consultant, that part we can store into our data element. It shows about the fields description, and domain holds the
Technical characteristics for
holds
the
yes, it holds the technical characteristics. So like data types, are there. So in yesterday's part we have seen how to create the domains and data elements. So I will open my transaction code first. Everybody is able to see my screen, right? A second,
yes.
I will close my whole screen. So there is a transaction code SA11. In yesterday's part, we have created our domains. So this is the domain we have created for our employee ID. For employee ID, we have created the domain characteristics 3. We have created the data element as well for our employee ID. So this data element I have created ZEMP So here we can store our field label. Here we can store our field label. So these things we have seen in our previous section. Domain holds the technical characteristics and data types. What we say? Data elements holds the technical. Sorry, it holds the field label. Whatever the field description is there, it will holds the field label. So yesterday we are having the requirement of one table. So we have to create our database table employee ID. So this is the requirement we need to fulfill. Right? यही requirement थी कल हमारी.
Yes.
So for that we have created the domain and data element for our employee ID, employee name, department, manager, and salary and currency. For all these fields we have created the domain and data element. So whenever you have to create the database table, whenever you have to create a database table, you need to create domain and data element. So this part we have done already. So now we will go for the creating the database table. So there is the radio button for creating the database table. I will click on this radio button, and this header table for employee we have creating Z header employee, and I am giving the TB for the table name. So whatever the name you guys want to give, you guys can give it. Okay. So I will go for create button. That's already we have created. So because of that, I am going for the change button. I will go to the delivery and maintenance. This part also we have seen into the previous session, right?
Yes, sir.
So anybody can tell me about the delivery class? What is the use case of delivery class? Why we use the delivery class?
It is used to transfer the data between the two systems.
Yes, delivery class are used to transfer how data will get transferred from one system to another system like it will transfer our data. As we see our types of data in SAP, कल हमने देखा था टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा देखा था हमने, मास्टर डेटा, ट्रांजेक्शन डेटा, कॉन्फ़िगरेशन डेटा, या नहीं देखा था?
हाँ, देखा था। यस, हाँ देखा था। यस।
Okay, so there are the master data, transaction data, and the configuration data. So we are having the three types of data in the SAP. One is the master data, second one is the transaction data, and third one is the configuration data. So these four types of data is available in our SAP. So master data is a type of data which is accessed very frequently but change very rarely. So हमने कल लेट सपोज कल देखा था या नहीं देखा था, कैन कोई रिकॉल कर पा रहा है?
हाँ, यस देखा था। यस।
सो मास्टर डेटा में हमने एग्जांपल देखा था, इट इफ वी आर हैविंग द मोबाइल नंबर एंड आधार कार्ड इज देयर,
हम्म।
so that data we can access very frequently but changes very rarely, so that data comes under to the master data. There will be the transaction data, the type of data which changes frequently. जैसे कि अगर आप फंक्शनल कंसल्टेंट हो तो आपको पता होगा कि सेल्स ऑर्डर्स जो होते हैं या परचेस ऑर्डर जो होते हैं वो हमारे डे बाय डे इंक्रीज होते हैं, सो दैट डेटा विल कम्स अंडर टू द ट्रांजेक्शन डेटा. So the data will get increased day by day. If we take the real time or real day example, we can say banking transaction in monthly हमारे जो banking transaction होते हैं they will increase. So that data we called it as a transaction data. After that we are having the configuration data, a data which is depends on the बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट. जैसे कि बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट होती है कि फर्स्ट यू ज्वाइन एनी कंपनी, तो यू कैन ज्वाइन एट जूनियर कंसल्टेंट, आफ्टर दैट यू कैन ज्वाइन एज एसोसिएट कंसल्टेंट, आफ्टर दैट यू कैन ज्वाइन एज अ सीनियर लेवल. So according to the business requirement data will get changed, so that data we called it as a configuration data. So while we use the delivery class, I will go for the F4 help. So whenever we choose the application table, the data will stored in the form of master and transaction data. After that, we are having the fields. There one is the MNDT field. So MNDT field, it is a client field. Whatever the client number is 800. So it is a, if table is having MNDT field, so that is the meaning हमारा टेबल क्या है, क्लाइंट डिपेंडेंट टेबल है. इफ टेबल डजंट हैव द MNDT field, तो हमारा टेबल क्लाइंट डिपेंडेंट नहीं है. सो वेन एवर यू गो फॉर द हमारे जो भी स्टैंडर्ड टेबल है, ये जैसे कि VBAK हो गया, so this is the standard table is also the client dependent table. You guys able to see this is the first field is the MANDT field. So by default जो client field होती है it is a primary key only. So we have created the MANDT field. After that we have created our employee ID field. We have given the data element. When I double click on this data element, मेरा field description आ जाएगा कि employee ID का मैंने क्या दिया है. So SAP given us the double clicking functionality. So now as per the requirement, we open our requirement. So you can see they are for the requirement, हमें requirement में क्या है, they are also given us the primary key. Which one is the primary key? So client number they wants as a primary key and employee ID they wants as a primary key. So client number they wants as a primary key and employee ID they wants as a primary key. So you can see there is a key tab, key field is there. Using this key field we can make our fields as a primary key. When I click on this key fields, I will save it. So this fields is become the primary key. So what is the primary key means? So हमारी primary key क्या होती है? It is a unique field and unique record it will store. जैसे कि लेट सपोज अभी हम कौन सा टेबल क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, एम्प्लॉय का टेबल क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. सो इन दैट केस हमारा जो एम्प्लॉय आईडी है, एम्प्लॉय आईडी विल बिकम द प्राइमरी की. सो प्राइमरी की विच आइडेंटिफाइज द यूनिक रिकॉर्ड, प्राइमरी की विच आइडेंटिफाई द यूनिक रिकॉर्ड्स. We write down a note as well. So primary key which helps us or used to identify the unique record. Let's suppose अगर कोई employee है, Let's suppose we are having the employee. Here we are having the employee name. Employee name. Here I will give the data element for Z employee name data element. I will press enter. हमारा data element आ गया. Let's suppose there will be the company XYZ company is there with the same name. Let's suppose हमारे पास कौन से नेम है. Let's suppose Vaishnavi is there. In our class also we are having the two Vaishnavis. Vaishnavi Wag is there and another Vaishnavi is there. So but I have to identify this Vaishnavis and this employee. So for that identify हम एक क्या करते हैं, एक नंबर क्रिएट करते हैं. हमारा एक जो एम्प्लॉय आईडी है, जैसे कि हम स्कूल में थे, हमारा रोल नंबर था. सो मल्टीपल सिमिलर नेम के लोग हो सकते हैं, बट वी कैन असाइन द नंबर, रोल नंबर हम क्या करते हैं, यूनिक देते हैं. सो दैट विल बिकम आवर प्राइमरी की. सो प्राइमरी की इज यूज्ड टू आइडेंटिफाई our unique record. So for each employee, for each name, we give the employee ID, which will be the unique for every person, which will be the unique for every person. Here I will give the initial values. Initial values means what? Before inserting these values, we cannot able to execute our table and we cannot able to create the entries in our table. So these values are the mandatory to insert the data into our database table. So हमारा employee name create हो गया. It will become the primary key. हमारा आईडी जो होगा प्राइमरी की होगा. सो आफ्टर दैट व्हाट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट वी हैव. हमें क्या करना है, डिपार्टमेंट क्रिएट करना है. हियर आई विल क्रिएट डिपार्टमेंट and I will give the data element Z employee DPT I guess, and I will give the D. Okay, it is not there. Press enter. Okay, this is the department. After that, after department we have manager, salary and currency. Manager, I will give the data element of manager. Okay, I will give the salary, data element of the salary, Z employee, salary D. Okay, data element of salary will come. After that, if you guys are not remembering this name, so you can guys write down this name in some Excel file and in some text file, and from them you can copy this name here. After that, we are having the currency field. Currency. Currency, I will give Z employee URR DE. This is the currency field. I will save it and I will go to the currency and quantity field. So whenever you are providing salary to any employee, whenever you are providing salary into any employee, that must have some currency field in which currency you are providing that salary. Like there is the INR, USD, Euro. So in which currency you are providing that salary, we can store that field into the currency field. When I go to the currency and quantity field, they will ask me for the reference table. From which table I will take the reference field. So from this table only, I will copy this table. I will paste my table name. And here I will pass my currency field. So you can see for my salary field, they are asking me for the currency field. So which type of salary, in which currency you are giving the salary to employee, we need to give it here. And from the reference table, I need to give. If you have a reference from other table, you can also give the field name and reference table name. That will also be fine. I will save it. Now I will open it into change mode. Now I go to the field. So now there is an option technical settings is there. Technical setting is there. When I open a technical setting, and there will be the data class. There will be the data class. So what is the data class? Data class. So data class where our actual database will be saved. Our actual database storage which will be saved in our data class. When I click on F4 help, where our actual data will be stored, that that we call it as a data class. In APPL0, you can see master data and transparent data, transparent table. Table name is a transparent table and master data. Master data कौन सा होता है? It will access frequently but changes rarely. APPL1 हमारा ट्रांजेक्शन डेटा, जो हमारा डेटा डे बाय डे एक मतलब हमारे जो डेटा में है वो चेंजेस होते रहते हैं या नंबर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स विल गेट इंक्रीजेस. APPL2 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड कस्टमाइजिंग डेटा. This data is used as a user, we as a ABAPer we don't use this data, but as a APPL0, APPL1, APPL2, this data we have used. So organization and customizing data means what? So we need to organize and customizing. Let's suppose if we take the real time example, there will be the cupboard. So in this cupboard we are having some specific options, like for the grocery we have created another section, for the clothes we have created another section, for the perfume we have created the another section, for cosmetic we have created the another sections. So like that in APPL2 our organization and customizing data will be there. So after that APPL0 it will be the master data. So as of now I will create my APPL0 master data, I will store, and there will be the size category. So size category, in size category we are having 0 to 8 option. We are having the 0 to 9 options, sorry, from 0 to 9 options we are having. So if I will choose the 0 option, 0 size category 0, so how many records I can able to store in my database table? So if I choose the size category 0, so from 0 to 200 and 2400 records I can able to store in my database table. If I will choose the one from 200 2400 to up to the नियर अबाउट हमारे पास कितने 10,000 रिकॉर्ड्स वी कैन स्टोर इन आवर दिस डेटाबेस टेबल. सो एज ऑफ नाउ हम कितने रिकॉर्ड्स स्टोर करने वाले हैं? बस फॉर द प्रैक्टिस पर्पज वी आर स्टोरिंग मैक्सिमम टू मैक्सिमम 50 to 100 records only. So because of that I am choosing the size category 0. I will save it. So data class where actual data or physical data will be present there. Size category gives us the how much data, how many records we can store in our database table. That part will cover into the size category. And I will save it. I will go back. तो इसके बाद we will check our program. Is there any error or not? You can see only warnings are there in my program. Only warnings are there in my in my database table. Only warnings are there. Enhancement category is missing. Enhancement category for include subtype is missing. There is the no error. Only warnings are there. I will activate my program. Sorry, I will activate my table. Only warnings are there. I will ignore all the warnings. Now my program is activated. So as we discussed in our previous session, whenever we develop any object in SAP, let's suppose domain is there, database table is there, yeah, table program is there. If that is not in the active state, so that is the useless objects. We cannot able to use anywhere that objects. So whenever you create any objects, that objects must be in the active mode. So now my database is created. मेरा database बन गया है. So I need to insert the data into my database table. So I need to insert my data into my database table. So we are having to insert the data into database table. We have the multiple option. First one is the SE11. Using the SE11, we can insert the data. Second one is the SE16. Using the SE16, also I can able to insert in the data into my database table. After that, we are having the SE16N. Using SE16N, also I am able to create my new entries. Insert, we can say update, delete, modify. So to insert, update, delete, and modify the data into database tables, we are having the various options. SE11 is there, SE16 is there, SE16N is there, and fourth one is the TMGs are there. And fifth one is the via programming. As a programmer, via programming also we can insert the record. So these are the five options we can able to insert the data into our database table. So one by one we will see all the options. Using the SE11, how can we insert the data? You can see utilities option is there. So using the SE11, we are having the option utilities, table content, and create entries. So using the SE11, we are having the option utilities, table content, and create new entry. So like that, we can insert the data using the SE11. I will go for utilities, table content, create entries. And you can see they will ask me for the employee ID. Let's suppose I will store 101. I will give the employee name. Let's suppose Mona is there. I will give the department. Let's suppose development department. I will give the manager name. Let's suppose Ram. I will give the salary. Let's suppose $1,000. And I will save it. So now you can able to see my database record is created successfully. In the status bar, you guys able to see database record is created successfully. In my status bar, my success message is coming. So now I will create my second record 102. I will create for Sejal. I will give the department testing. I will give the manager name Sham, and I will give the salary, let's suppose $100, and I will save it. So you can see second entry will get inserted. So now I have to insert my third person. I will use the 101. I will insert the Pramod. I will use the development department only. I will use the Sham, or I will use the Ram. Here I will write the salary, let's suppose 1500, and I will press enter. So now if I will go for the save button, is this record will get saved? Hello?
No,
Why
No,
this record is not saved? Q record
already
because
saving?
employee
existing
ID is
in
the key field,
employee
no?
ID.
Yes, employee ID we have already taken, and our
Yes.
employee ID is a primary key. So because of that, उसकी वजह से क्या होगा? This primary key it will get unique. ये जो field होती है, it will get हमेशा unique. So if I will go for save button, you can see a data record with the specific keys already existed. It will give us the error. So if I will go for 103, then only our data record will get insert. Data record successfully created. When I go back, you can see there is a table content button is there. Content button. Are you guys able to see content button?
Yes.
When I click on that content button and I will execute this, when I execute this, you can see all the data entries are coming here, like employee name, department, manager name, salary, the currency. Got it? कि यहाँ से कैसे record insert कर सकते हैं? If you want, you can also sort the data. If you have to edit this data using, you can see, you can able to edit. अगर तुम्हें इसका चेंज करना है, लेट्स सपोज मोना को आपको टेस्टिंग में डालना है, and you have to give the manager name Sham for them. We will save it. We will go back. You can see Mona is becoming to the testing department and manager name become the Sham. If you have to create the new entries, you can create it from here as well. So using SE11, we can insert the data likewise. So after that, we are having the option SE16. Using the SE16 also, we can able to insert the records. Let me share my that screen also. SE16. Now press enter. Here I will give my table name and I will go for content. Table content. I will execute it. From here as well, you can able to create the entries. Another way you can hear from here also you can able to create the entries. Let's suppose 104. I will give the name for, let's suppose Pramod is there. So there will be the employee name. Let's suppose we will take the employee name. Vaishnavi is there. I will give the department development, give the manager name Ram, I will give the salary, let's suppose 1200, and I will use the currency USD and I will save it. From using SC16, I have created my records and I will check into my SC11. You can see Vaishnavi record has been created using my SC16. And using, there will be the another T code SC16N. Write down these T codes as well. SC16N. In SC16N, I can insert my database table. You can see हमारे tables के fields यहाँ पर आ गए हैं. So this is the upgraded version of displaying our database table. This is the upgraded T code to see the records. हमारी employee ID, employee name, department, manager, salary, currency, all fields are coming here. When I execute my table, you guys can see हमारे database tables को. If you have to add new record, you can create it here, append row. Here you can write 105. Here you can write Pramod. You can write the department, let's suppose testing. Here you can write the manager name Sham. You can give the salary, let's suppose 1200. You can give the ESD. Instead of Pramod, the entry we have already created. We will take another name. Let's suppose we will take Yash. And I will save it. You can see inserted record 1, change record 0, deleted record 0. So all the information we have inserted record. If I have to delete the record, I will select this and I will go for minus button. That record gets deleted and I will go for save button. You can see deleted record becomes 1. I will save it. If I have to change the record, if I will become promote into the testing and I will change his manager name. Sham. I will save it. You can see change row is coming. One change row is coming. So like that, we can delete, update, insert, and modify records in our database tables using these three T codes. Using these three T codes, we are having three T codes: SC11, SC16, SC16N. So now there is very main part is coming into the picture: TMG, table maintenance generator. We call it as a table maintenance generator. So table maintenance generator, what is the table maintenance generator? Anybody can tell me. So Vaishnavi is already having and Mona is already having the experience in SAP. So are you guys heard this TMG word anywhere? Mona and Vaishnavi.
But are you talking about the debug something?
No, TMG, table maintenance generator.
No.
So basically what the thing is there, are you from the MM side and ST side, right?
Yes, MM.
So basically, TMGs are used to insert the multiple records and maintain the multiple records into the database table. If, like, let's suppose if functional consultant having the requirement to insert the multiple records in my database table, and if also we are having the requirement to insert the multiple records into my database tables, so in that case, we use our TMG, table maintenance generator. So, and also there will be the some test cases and there will be the some enhancement as well. So for some specific record, we have to bypass that specific record to create something. Like let's suppose I have to create my sales order, but for some specific material, and I have to what we say, I have to bypass my that materials and I have to bypass that errors of that materials. So in that case also we will create our TMGs. So that part we will cover into the enhancement part. So as of now, TMG is very important part in the interview perspective. The interviewer will mostly focus on the TMGs, table maintenance generator. So for the end user, अगर एंड यूजर की अगर रिक्वायरमेंट होगी टू इंसर्ट द डेटा इनटू द डेटाबेस टेबल्स, सो हम डायरेक्टली उसको ये जो SE11 का एक्सेस है, SE16 का एक्सेस है, या SE16N का एक्सेस है, वो एक्सेस नहीं दे सकते, बिकॉज दिस इज द वेरी क्रिटिकल थिंग्स वी हैव डिजाइन. लेट सपोज अभी हमने क्या किया है, we have developed our database table. So these tables we have developed. Are you guys able to see my transparent table, like whatever the fields we have created, right?
Yes.
So this table we have developed. So as a ABAPer, as a functional consultant don't have the access of SE11 as well sometimes. So they have the access, but they don't have the access to change this our table. So if we have given this axis, this SE11 axis to the if we give this axis to the end user, to end user if done any changes in our database table, let's suppose this, instead of this employee ID he will add one here, or sometimes he add the space here and write something like that, and it will might face the issues. If I go for the save button and I will go for the check button, you can see there will be lots of error. So the end user will not understand what to do it here. अगर end user ने कुछ ऐसे changes कर दिए तो it will face the difficulties to manage and टू रिमूव दिस एरर्स, बिकॉज एंड यूजर कुछ भी कर सकता है, क्योंकि उसको अगर किसी को अगर नॉलेज नहीं होगी स्क्रीन की या कुछ डेवलप करने की, तो दैट पर्सन कैन डू एनी चेंजेस एनीवेयर. तो हमें पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि उसने कहाँ पर क्या चेंजेस किए हैं और कहाँ पर किस वजह से एरर्स आ रहे हैं. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट वी डिडेंट गिवन द एक्सेस for the end user to create entries in our database table from SE11, from SE16, or from SE16N. So user also have to create the entries. User co also having the requirement to insert the data in this database table. So in that case, user wants to insert the data in database tables. So for that we use the TMG. So for that we use the TMGs. Let's suppose. So for end user, we have required to create the TMG for maintaining our database table. TMG is the best way to maintain the record. So for user, we create our TMGs. So how to create the TMGs? This will also interviewer will ask you about how to create the TMG and why to create the TMG. So first of all, we can insert the multiple records in my database tables using the table maintenance generator. So you can see there is the utilities option is there. In utilities, we are having the table maintenance generator, TMG. Table maintenance generator is there. When I click on table maintenance generator and I will go for S. So there are some prerequisite we can say to create the TMG. First prerequisite what? हमारा जो database table है, it must be in active mode. हमारा database table जो है, it will must be in the activate mode. हमारा display and maintenance always be allowed. So then only we can able to create my TMG. These are the prerequisite. I will go for table maintenance generator. You guys able to see this screen? Authorization group, function group, all this they are thing asking. So इन ऑथराइजेशन ग्रुप, हम ऑथराइजेशन ग्रुप क्यों देते हैं? फॉर सम स्पेसिफिक पर्सन के लिए अगर हम टीएमजी क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, सो इन दैट केस वी विल गिव द ऑथराइजेशन ग्रुप. But as of now, we haven't created for some specific user. So because of that, we are giving the non-authorization and NC and I am giving the authorization group and NC and because we haven't created any for some specific user. So they will ask for the function group. So as of now, we haven't seen function module and function group part. So because of that, I am copying my table name and I will paste it here. So this is my function group only. And here they will ask me for the maintenance type. So in which screen, how many screens you have to maintain the records? In one step only or in two step only? So first we see in one step. In one step, we have insert the records. TMG को use करते हम to insert the records into my database tables. So let's suppose this is my TMG. TMGs are used to insert the records into our database table. So don't forget these points. Let's suppose if you have to insert the multiple records. So for that, we use the TMG, table maintenance generator, to insert the records into my database table. Database table. So in how many screens we have to insert? In one screen. If we have to go for one screen, there will be the one screen will get appear and we can directly insert the records. If we go for the two screen, there will be the one screen will appear. If we execute that screen, then will be the second screen will get appear. In that second screen, we can insert the records. So these are the one screen and two screens. We'll delete all this drawing and they will ask me for the screen number. So I will go for one step and I will find the screen. I will go for find screen and I will press enter. So you can see one screen will get appeared. I will go for create TMG. I will save into the package. I will give the, instead of this username, which username I have login, user 10s, I guess. I need to check which user with I have login. User 510. Okay. User 510. Will insert. I'll go for save. I will give the transport request. I will save it. I will save into my package. I will press 2 times enter button to save my object. After that, it will take the time. TMG will take time to create. Okay, table maintenance generator, it will take time to create. किसी को कुछ डाउट है TMG क्यों क्रिएट करते हैं? So system is taking time to create the TMGs. So write down the T code for TMG, table maintenance generator. It is SM30. SM30 T code is used to maintain the records in our TMG in our database. We can maintain the records from our SM30. And this SM30 T code we can give. Our TMG has been created without errors. So we are having the transaction code SM30. In SM30, I will open my transaction code SM30. And here in SM30, they will ask me for the table or view name. Here I will pass my table name. I will go for maintain. If I go for the maintain, so SM30 access, it will have the end user. End user will have the access of SM30. And in SM30, we will give the database table where the end user wants to insert the records, and then he can insert the records from here only. If I will go for, let's suppose, I will go for new entries. You can see on one screen only I can able to insert the multiple records. On one screen only, let's suppose 104 तक हमने create किया. I will go for new entries. I will go for 105. I will go for 106 and I will go for 107. And I will give the employee name, let's suppose Akshay. I will give the Abhijit. I will give the Shubham. And I will give the department, let's suppose testing, development, testing. Here I will pass the Sham. Here I will pass Ram. Here I will pass Sham again. I will give the salary, let's suppose $800. Here I will pass $1,000. Here I will pass $800 and I will save my entries. So you can see data was saved. I will go back. So multiple entries I can able to insert using my table TMG, table maintenance generator. So there will be the separate T code. If you have to delete the entry, you can select and you can delete it here. If you have to delete all the entries, you can select all and delete it. All the entries will get deleted. All the data will get deleted. If you have to edit your entry, you click on edit button and you can edit your entry. But हमारी जो primary key है that will be non-editable. हमारी primary key will become non-editable because only one time we can able to create हमारी primary key. यहाँ पर किसी को कुछ डाउट्स है TMG में? हेलो.
No, no doubts.
Okay. So now we will go for the new, like we will create the TMG using the two step. As of now we have seen using the one step only. Now we will see using the two steps. So first of all, are you guys write down the T code?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So write down one thing also. If we delete our TMG, if we delete our TMG, the data will not get deleted. So this TMG is using the one step only. So if I have to create new TMG, I need to delete this one first. First one I need to delete and then only I can able to create my new TMG. So whenever if interviewer will ask you about this tricky question. So if I will delete my table maintenance generator and I have to create another table maintenance generator, so this data will be stayed or data will be deleted. जब हम TMG delete करते हैं तो data will not get deleted, बस हमारी TMG will get deleted. You can see it here. So for the TMG, it will taking the time.
So, sir, here the second option is showing us entry in table of view directory will also be deleted. I mean, this object is also getting deleted. So, is it will delete the data or the object only?
No, objects is deleted only. Object is deleted. When I go back, you can see it here. I will go for change. I will go for table content. I will execute my table. You can see all the data will be there. All the data will be there. Our data will not get deleted. Only our TMG is getting deleted. So now we will move forward to the next. Wait a second. I will go back. So now I will go for the utilities. Our table is in active mode. So write down the prerequisite first. Our table must be in the active mode, and also delivery and maintenance जो होता है, it will be the allowed. If I will go for not allowed, I will save it and I will go for the utilities. I will go for the table. First need to activate this one. Only warnings are there. I ignore that warning. Now I go for the utilities, go for the table maintenance generator. You can see I am not able to create my table maintenance generator. Why? I am not, my table maintenance generator is not in allowed. So if I will go for table maintenance allowed, I will save it and activate it. Only warnings are there. Now I will go for utilities, table maintenance generator. Now I can able to create my table maintenance generator. Now here I will pass my again As a function group, I will pass my table name. I will go for two step. I will go for find screen. I will press enter. I will go for create TMG. So it will take the time to create the TMG. Okay. Okay, system is taking time to create. Wait a second, we will open again. It is created. I will copy name. I will open SM30. I will paste my table name. I will open into SM30. Are you guys able to see SM30 screen, right? Everybody able to see?
Yes, sir.
So I will go for maintain. Now, if I have to maintain the records, I need to go through the two screen. If I go for new entries, you can see for the, let's suppose how many entries we have created, 107. I will go for new entries. This entry is coming. So I will go for 108. I will give the employee name, let's suppose Rohan. I will pass the department, let's suppose development. I will pass the manager name Ram. I will pass the salary 1000. And I will use the USD. And I will save it. If I have to save it, if I have to create new entries, I again need to go to the another screen. You can see जब हम one screen से गए थे तो from this screen only I have to create all the multiple entries, but I have to create my second entries. I again go to the new entries. So like that second entry वहाँ पे आ जाएगी. So like that this thing will happen if you go for the two screen. Got it? We will save our data and we will check our table. In this table content, I will go back. I will open my table in display mode. I will go for content. I will execute my table. You can see Rohan entry is coming. Using the table maintenance generator, we have created these entries. So like that, using the table maintenance generator, we can able to insert the records. Got it? हम tables में records कैसे insert करते हैं? किसी को कुछ doubts है? Hello?
हाँ, clear. It's clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So अभी if you do any changes in database table, okay, if you add some field, if you add some new field, let's suppose after the currency you will add the address field, and after that you will add the data, after that you will give the data element of that field. So, and I will go again into my TMG. In my TMG I will go for the maintenance, so that data, that address field will not reflect it here. हमारी जो database में वो जो field आएगी, whatever the field you have done the changes, वो field will not get reflected in our TMG. Why? If we have to reflect that table for that field, we have to delete our this TMG first. So okay, we have to first open tables into activate mode. Only warnings, I ignore the warnings. I will go for utilities, table maintenance generator. If you have to display that changes, जिसमें भी changes किए हैं, if you have to display, you have to delete this TMG first, and then you need to create it again. Then only that changes comes into the TMG. Otherwise TMGs में changes नहीं आएंगे. So if you edit your database table, you add any field in your database table, before अगर आपने उसके TMG create की होगी, तो that field or that changes will not reflect in the TMG. So for that you guys have to create another TMG. For that you have to delete your TMG first, and then again you have to create it. Always remember, whenever you delete your TMG, the data will not get deleted, only TMG get deleted. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
So that's all about the TMGs. So on the next part, we will create our second table, like the requirement we have. This is the requirement we have. We want to create a project detail table. In this project detail table, we can assign our employee ID. हमारी जो first table की primary key है. So this primary key we have. This primary key employee ID, I will take into my project detail table. So this two table will get merged using this primary key. Using this primary key, this table will have the relationship with each other using this primary key employee ID. And after that particular employee, जो भी हमने create किया employee, let's suppose 101 create किया है, 102 create किया है, 103 create किया है, तो उसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे, प्रोजेक्ट्स असाइन करेंगे. प्रोजेक्ट्स असाइन करेंगे और उसके नाम भी वहां पर देंगे, एंड प्रोजेक्ट्स के नाम भी वहां पर देंगे. सो लाइक दैट थिंग्स वी कैन डू इन टू द नेक्स्ट सेशन. ओके. सो
सर
टुडे.
Okay,
तो
sir.
जो टेबल में प्रोजेक्ट आईडी और प्रोजेक्ट नेम है, तो
हम्म.
जो मतलब वॉट एवर फील्ड्स इन डेटा हेडर और आइटम टेबल,
हम्म.
सबका डोमेन और डेटा एलिमेंट रहता है ना?
हाँ, every field is having the domain and data element. Okay.
डेटा
So
एलिमेंट,
whatever the
हाँ.
field you are having, but let's suppose you have already created the domain and data element for your employee ID. For this,
Then not
for
required.
this element, for this field, you have already
Mm.
created in this table.
Yes.
In this table, you have already created. So in that case, you don't need to create again, because
Yes.
if you want, you can create it again with the same data type and with the same length. But that is the not good way of the practice. Already you have created, then why we need to create it again, right? You can use
Correct,
that
correct.
only. You can use that only. Okay.
So now only project ID and project name, data element and domain needs to be created.
Yes, yes, yes. Only these things we need to create, and after that we need to assign our foreign key relationship with each other. जब भी हमारी primary key है, जो primary key will comes into the secondary table, हमारे item tables में आ जाती है, तो this key we called it as a foreign key. We called it as a foreign key. In this table, it is a primary key, but when it primary key comes into the secondary table, that key we called it as a foreign key. So foreign key we called it as it is a reference primary key of another table. Foreign key का definition क्या है? It is a reference primary key from the other table. We can call it as a foreign key. So this also foreign key relationship जो होता है, that part also we will see into the next lecture. अभी के lectures में किसी को कुछ doubts है? Hello.
No.
No, sir.
ठीक है. So before tomorrow session or next session, come with the practice, because हमारे जो सेशंस होंगे ऑन द इसी प्रैक्टिस बेसिस पे, इसी के अकॉर्डिंगली आगे बढ़ेंगे. इफ यू गाइज नॉट डूइंग द प्रैक्टिस, तो क्या हो जाएगा कि आपको मतलब पहला जो पार्ट है, यू विल गेट हार्ड टू रिकॉल ऑल दिस पार्ट. इफ यू हैव गाइज गॉन थ्रू द प्रैक्टिस, इट विल गेट easier to understand the next topic and the next things. Okay.